Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the coverage here of the DAC group stages coming to you live from Shanghai. I'm ODPixel, I'm here with Godson. We're ready to take you through Game 2 now of Team MP versus IG Vitality. Quite a Game 1. MP, of course, taking the win. I do certainly advise you go back and watch it. It won't be too much of your time, but a very entertaining game and a very interesting one at that as well. And we'll see if MP have, again, some crazy stuff up their sleeves here for Game 2. So far, the norm. Standard bans, opening with the Magnus. We saw MSS have a great game with it last game, and it's definitely a hero that MP feel very, very strong with. IG Vitality, though, in return, gods, they are indeed going to respect not only the Dazzle, which we saw them respect ban in Game 1, but also this time, Envy's Alchemist taken out as the second ban. They just don't want to deal with it.
Yep. They didn't really have a good way to pressure the jungle more than anything. I didn't really want to say the lanes. They picked at least a hero that was on paper supposed to counter Alk, but didn't really get that job done and go into some physical damage here. We'll see if that tempts another Winter Wyvern pick, but Weaver perhaps better against the Winter Wyvern, like a Slider Lifestealer, so a bit more versatile, a bit pesky, although not a hero we've seen dominate at this tournament. There's been like 4 or 5 Weavers, and it's been kind of like a 50-50 hero. So we'll see how good old annoying little bug fares today. See if MP want to get an early partner for the Magnus. No, I mean partner in terms of team fight, but not in terms of Empower goes. There's plenty of heroes to Empower, they figure, and they may as well pick up the same two with their opener.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of really didn't talk too much about the Wyverns plays in Game 1, but you know they were certainly there from 4037. Just using the Winter Curse, not necessarily to hit the huge kind of 5-man ones, but just having that long-range setup, allowing the rest of MP to move in position and go for those sort of plays. And of course, as we saw in the lane, it was a lot of good protection to make it very hard for IG Vitality to find any sort of pick. And IG Vitality just not wanting to go against any kind of these big old farmers. Again, banning out the Naga Siren. We saw them take it out in Game 2 against MP. And MP as well, sticking with similar bans. Ember Spirit, of course, as you mentioned in the draft Game 1, one of those heroes that can certainly burst through the regen of the Cold Embrace with the magical damage that you can offer. And what was the other? They banned out another high magic damage hero, didn't they?
Oh
no,
yeah, Lina.
Lina.
Yep.
The Lina, which
Lina man.
I guess is likely that they may ban out again.
Yep. Seems like a kind of flavor mid-hero for the time being, and something that could theoretically be annoying to verse, so wouldn't be surprised to see a similar kind of ban, but maybe they have something in mind that they're worried about a different counter, so it could be a different direction at the same time, but see what IGV have on their mind.
I mean, with the Chinese sides as well, is this most likely for Vitality to be that safe lane weaver, or do they have the similar flexibility to do it in other roles?
More likely to be the safe lane with such a heavy priority and focus on off-laners playing initiating heroes. So it kind of puts Weaver in the carry role with like a rare exception of like a mid-Weaver or 4 position, but I want to say they're going to be like a 3 or 4 position slider. Could be either, but definitely playing initiators out of the offlane is like the typical trend. In July's Batrider banned out. That's one of his. It probably is his best hero, and won't be getting seen in this Game 2.
Leaving the Dark Siren, of course, which in July did play in Game 1. They had a few flashy kind of Viking wars, but never really enough to really secure a big team fight win at all. CM will be the pick, so you've already got kind of that nice synergy between your kind of support roaming potential. You know, CM and Slider have very much the potential to walk into a lane and cause real havoc. And also, of course, going to be very nice for the Weaver and the Shikuchi spam having that aura. And again, you know, because they banned out the bat, they did leave the Lina in the pool. It certainly still could be a likelihood that Vitality may think and to go for a hero like that does offer this magic burst. And again, with that CM mana regen, it's going to be even nicer for the Lina.
And we'll see if maybe MP have something in mind to match up well for Envy there in the mid lane, but now, of course, always considering melee heroes to pair with the Empower. It may just come from Aui's hero. They could always run a range mid just fine against like a Lina type pick, but definitely Empower heroes on the mind. But may not necessarily be a number 1 priority to pick something. They may just say, all right, there's enough. There's Slack, there's Ursa, there's a wide enough pool. Troll is still in the pool as well, one of the kind of more CIS-oriented combos. We've seen from the Chinese teams do it as well. I'm not sure if that's like NP's flavor, but always something on the mind.
I know it's not always a hero that we're yet to see, but, you know, thinking Owie, thinking to deal with the Slardar Weaver minus armor, thinking the Cleave, Sven. Why do we never see Sven gods? What's so bad about the hero? Do you feel that the teams always seem to have a much better alternative?
Doesn't bully his opposing like offlaner. He doesn't bully offlaners at all. He's takes a lot of items before he's like kind of ready to fight. You want like a Blink with an armlet, with a BKB perhaps. Like you need 2-3 items to fight with, and it feels like you're kind of have to be playing from ahead for the hero to work. So if you ever have like kind of a neutral even game, he gets kited badly. It's kind of like a weaker version of like a Lifestealer, which actually to me Lifestealer's maybe the
Lifestealer, for sure. That seems like the hero that
Lifestealer Magnus is fine.
That makes the most sense in terms of what they've been picking recently, and what everyone's been kind of picking recently.
Lifestealer gets like the free BKB, doesn't need as many items to fight, doesn't need a Blink Dagger because you've got Infest into a teammate. Just feels like Lifestealer does that burst physical damage like a Sven does with less items and has like gets countered less. Even though obviously Lifestealer, the idea is you want to counter him by kiting him around as well. The Infest can kind of bypass that. Same for the open wounds.
I see our IGV go now, almost certainly needing to reveal either the offlaner or mid if the lanes do go as we expect. And indeed, we have our offlane once again in July. Second game in a row, we'll pick up that Darkseer. And yeah, it's hard to really gauge too much from the performance of game one because he didn't really have the chance to perform because they were so far behind.
Yep.
But coming into this one, well, of course you're going to have nice combinations with the Vacuum and Crushing. And even just having the Iron Shell on the Weaver causing havoc. And, of course, once again, that CM Aura going to be allowed the Darkseer to keep constant uptime. But MP, again, bringing something that's not new to the pool here at DAC. We have seen, I believe, we saw Liquid play it. Was that about it? Just the...
maybe one other Medusa game, I want to say, but it's not...
It's not the height of popularity.
Very good against the physical damage and not terrible with Empower. Like, obviously, you're not getting Cleave or anything, but it's a hero that normally tanks up a ton but struggles to get damage output because like most of your items are stat items or survivability items. So having Empower kind of covers some of Medusa's weak points. And
of course it's very good with both RP and the Winter's Curse. I mean, Winter's Curse is just a perfect setup for Stone Gaze. As long as you can get yourself in the middle next to that targeted enemy hero, they're going to be looking at the hero. They're going to be looking at you.
Yep.
It gives you a good duration to make sure that Stone Gaze is successful. So nice little bit of team fight synergy there. We'll see if MP do get the chance to pull that off.
Find out what MP's carry for Owie is going to be now.
I mean, yeah, are you saying it's definitely going to be an MV and a mid Medusa? Is that just better than the safe lane nowadays?
Better than, but not definite, like a guarantee. But I'd say it's a hero you want to get the fast levels on, and Medusa doesn't have too many bad matchups, Tinker being one of them. We saw that earlier when Liquid ran the hero against OP's Tinker and got countered by it, but Medusa typically does pretty well holding her own in most 1v1s, and safe lane, again, it's a similar problem to like the Sven. You don't actually bully offlaners out of the lane too much. You bully heroes by having points in Mystic Snake, which you're not getting as a safe laner, so you don't really do enough harass and zone to be put in a great safe lane role. Perhaps like a 1v1 in the safe lane's fine, but if you want to like go for killing lanes, Medusa's not like a killing safe lane carry.
I wonder if something that's a pick that's going to work nicely. Well, I was going to say with the Stone Gaze, but no, not necessarily. Not more physical damage, but Centaur coming through. And lane-wise then, what are we looking at here? That is the question, God. So
could be similar like safe lane Magnus.
I can see it. Owie seems like the kind of guy who could play a safe lane Centaur.
Yep.
He loves to be that kind of playmaker. And getting himself stuck in.
Similar kind of idea to last game where their safe lane is going to be a tempo controller where they can get like a fast blink perhaps on a Magnus or a Centaur. It's a similar kind of idea where you've just got a hero that can run around finding kills, winning you team fights out of the safe lane. Last game was the Magnus there. They did have an Enchantress as a secondary carry, but I think they looked at this game and said Medusa alone can kind of carry. Centaur actually with a lot of farm is kind of a carry as well in a lot of ways. You get the heart for ridiculous health. You get the Ag Scepter, like throwing a refresher, you do a lot of damage as well there.
Yeah, I'm looking at kind of these two cores, and you kind of see if they get a good start mid-game. I mean, it's going to be very hard, really, for a Weaver to do much damage to these two, isn't it? If they start to build up the items, especially with the backup of the Wyvern and such. OD, that certainly can start to punch in. Stealing some of the Medusa, I guess, is kind of nice. Doubles up as, cutting down on what her availability is in terms of mana shield. But interesting stuff again, MP. As we said, we are going to have to wait and see who is going to be playing what, see if we see anything to catch us off guard. There's no knowing what's really going to happen after we saw in Game 1, Aoi playing Enchantress. Really kind of shake things up a bit. But you'd say if you had to put your money on it, Aoi to play
Centaur.
Centaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the Earth Spirit.
Medusa.
It's not like a
No.
carry for. That's
No.
going to be SVG, but who knows? That
Carry
could be
Wyvern.
some
You know,
Carry
the cool Wyvern.
Mask of Madness.
Let's do it. Maelstrom. Let's go.
Maelstrom, yep.
What do we got then? It is indeed, Aoi playing the safe lane, Centaur, MV on Medusa, and once again, MSS Magnus. And 1-4-3-7, second game in a row on Wyvern, and that will leave SVG moving around on the old Earth Spirit over on the side of Vitality. Any surprises? I don't think it will be. It'll be as expected. Paparazzi safe lane. Weaver, mid lane Cicada on the OD. In July, of course, on Darkseer, and your support duo at the Slaughter, Crystal Maiden. Now, the question is this game, does it have the potential to go as disastrously as Game 1 for IGV? I don't think it does it? I can't see this being a game where MP just rolls away with it as easy as Game 1, surely.
Medusa's no ALK in terms of if she gets uncontested free farm, you're not going to lose as fast as you lose to an ALK. ALK getting that kind of free farm gets 6-slotted 25, 26 minutes in, and you get steamrolled. This game, unlikely to happen with Medusa, so we'll see what the play is going to be there with Envy and his items, but don't imagine we'll see him also moving into the jungle like 4 or 5 minutes of the game like he did in Game 1 with the Alchemist as well. So perhaps we'll see less farm going around for the supports. Here's like Earth Spirit, going to be a bit more active and present on the map. Here's like Winter Wyvern won't have a solo lane to take over.
IGV want to try and contest this.
Okay.
They're smoking up, heading over. We talked about obviously the way that Super and Dogfights and the CM slot, they can get stuff done, but there's a lot of heroes for MP around in the neighborhood, and up on the high ground, SVG standing there. IGV not to be deterred. They want to go in. They want to contest this. And in fact, Envy in trouble, but the backup will be there immediately from the team. They'll turn towards trying to get them off Envy, but it's not going to work. Envy's down. That's your first blood. MP will find 1 kill in return. But obviously, IGV are going to be very happy with the way that they've kicked that off. Getting that first blood onto Envy. Can they get Dogfights out there? That's the question. He's got 1 more crush. They need to get him out to have a favorable trade here, really. Paparazzi back in the neighborhood, and it looks like they will indeed get Dogfights back to safety. He'll be all right, and already IGV, by the looks of it, changing the lanes up, realizing that with that positioning, it is indeed going to be MP trying to go aggressive down bottom, and Dogfights is actually come back across. SVG hunts him down. Again, looks like he hasn't quite got the damage to kill him, but just putting a huge amount of abuse here onto this Slaughter, who's been left alone for the time being, because up to the top, in July, oh, look, these body blocks. These body blocks, hang on. Hang on. He's okay, he could if he had got that there. MSS nearly pulling out the plays. But yeah, the lane swap's coming through from Vitality, and we'll just have to wait and see what MP do in reaction to this.
And MP are just roaming right now, and they're looking for a kill in mid lane. And the trading hits.
Trading a lot of hits. He's full on baiting this one, and it is a successful bait indeed, but it looks a bit very fine. No, is enough. Cicada will be fine, has a salve as well ready for this. In fact, he's just going to head up towards the shrine. They do see this all under the ward, but no way that they can really get over and do anything more of it. At the least, forcing him out of the lane, making him use the shrine early on.
Yep.
But they don't get that kill.
It's pretty good value from the shrine, sharing it with the Slaughter as well, who'd been taking some harass. Slaughter's going to come in with a sentry, but doesn't guess right with the Observer Ward in its placement, so bit of a unpredictable laning stage as far as where the supports start off. Earth Spirit and Winter Wyvern doing some 2-hero roaming, but it seems like things are going to stabilize now. Winter Wyvern will try and secure some of the lanes, while Earth Spirit will, as you'd normally expect, continue to roam around the map a bit more aggressively. Similarly story for the Radiant side. Slaughter roaming and CM helping the lanes, but CM went greedy, trying to get Bounty Rune, and we'll get punished here.
Actually, she headed over and went for a straight TP underneath the nose of MSS, but indeed his point in skew, I had something to say about that. As mid lane, CS-wise, what are we looking at? Cicada, 5 for 6, 5 7, 6 for 5 on Envy, pretty much even between the two of them for the time being.
Yep.
And side lane-wise, Aoi, hitting a good rate of farm. In July, still, of course, getting something out of there, but he's been forced to back. Brought down low, and not quite the goal for the Soul Ring yet, so he's going to make the long journey back to base. That's going to free up a lot of space for Aoi to continue the flow even more on this bottom lane.
Feels like this will just be a complete other free farm lane for Aoi. Be interesting to see where he goes, if he goes for the fast blink dagger or perhaps like a jungling item like a hood, so he can just double edge farm and then give the lane to like the support. That seems to be more the MP style, where you jungle a core hero to open up a lane, but similarly having a fast blink can be very impactful. But yeah, queues up the hood. I feel like he's going to try rush like a fast hood and then just jungle while his team farm the lane, give the lane to the Earth Spirit, Winter Wyvern. Then everyone gets level 6, 10, 12 minutes in, you're ready to fight.
I'm going to look to try and take him down here with the setup from Super. Dogfight's coming in with the follow-through crush, but the two-man stomps there into the slow from SVG as he comes in, blocks them off, holds them back with a boulder smash. They're still going to dive in deeper. They're looking for the kill, and they will end up getting the Earth Spirit. Aoi, can he get something in return? Hunting for Dogfights, looking to try and cast the double edge off, but Dogfights with the Duke, making it very hard to do so. Holds him back once more with the crush. Aoi with the final swipe of his axe takes down the Slardar. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 there. Big dives coming through from Vitality, but Aoi again survives and does get the kill.
Makes his way to the shrine so he can stick around in this lane as well. Good start for him. Mid lane starting to get tougher for Eternal Envy. He's getting harassed a lot by Sakata on the OD and will be not going for a bottle, so won't really have the best sustain for this lane. OD bullying Envy will force him to pop that shrine fairly early on.
This'll come in handy.
We'll see where SVG wants to head next. Into the jungle he goes. Continues to get down a bit more vision with, of course, that first ward starting to expire around this area. And mid lane, yeah, Cicada, that certainly would be a target they'd love to go for. It's actually IGV themselves that are wanting to make a move towards mid. Dogfights looking to close the gap. MV in trouble. TPs will come through, and looks like the mana shield will be enough to save him. SVG rolls in. Border smash is going to be duked out. Dogfights up to the high ground. 40-37 has the slow though. It's not enough though, as MP can't dive that, but at the same time, bottom lane, I mean, one of those situations, yeah, where the solo kill happens in a situation where it really shouldn't got.
Yeah, no real excuses there. No idea what happened, and there's no real... It's not like Centaur's a flashy hero that can create outplays where you're like, well, he shouldn't get a solo kill, but he did such and such, that was really good. No, he just walked up and got hoof stomped double edge. That's all that you can really say that probably happened there. So in July, a bit inexcusable. Giving up a kill there, and top lane Paparazzi needs to be careful, and Invis Earth Spirit could be the death of him.
They only had the boulder smash though. Yeah. Do they have enough burst to bring it down? It's a level 3 shockwave.
Waiting for perhaps the Splinter Blast. He's trying to harass.
Yeah, he's just got the skill
break
point
the
in
raindrops a bit.
Boulder smash, Splinter Blast, and shockwave would do it. They've got to execute it perfectly though. Paparazzi.
Oh, he's trying to bait him in, and he's baited out of Shikuchi for now.
Here we go, this is the opening, straight in with the roll, it's going to miss, the boulder smash, it won't though, as they come in with the Stampede. Paparazzi does get the second Shikuchi off. And in fact, MSS has got to be careful. Pops the Mango, Shockwave as well. Paparazzi, can they finish him off? No! Paparazzi might even get a kill in return here. They're incredibly low on MP, and Paparazzi realizes he's duking it around. Again, Infused Raindrop will save him this time, only for the short amount of time though. As MSS comes in with the final sweep, and they do finally get that sneaky little critter.
It's a pretty painful death. You not only die, you lose all 5 of your raindrop charges, which is like, you just spent 225 gold on that? Well, so much for that investment. It's meant to save your life, yeah, but one, it didn't save your life. It didn't get you kills. If it saves your life, or you trade your life for some kills, it's great, but almost basically just making it take a few extra spells for them to kill him, but they don't really mind using up their mana to kill the Weaver there.
Mid lane, Envy getting dove upon. Dogfights is taking a fair bit of the down. In fact, Dogfights is down. Envy, he falls, but he takes a solo kill on his way out.
Yeah, he got the XP first. He got the kill before dying. Does mean OD gets credited like a solo kill, like he gets the XP by himself.
Yeah, it works both ways.
But Medusa, I mean, that's much better than just dying and getting the kill afterwards, since you gets her up to level 6, and it's going pretty well for Jackie in this mid lane. All things considered, is losing the CS battle slightly, but it's not exactly a matchup he's expected to be winning.
Now again, just zoning back that in July Darkseer.
Jeez, Darkseer getting crushed down bottom. I mean, he's got CS, 34 of that, 34 on top of the CS charts, but some of that being neutrals. A lot of it he's not been getting XP for because he is zoned out of the lane by this Centaur who's just threatening to double edge him. So in terms of where he stands right now, it's not exactly an ideal position. And now he has played this lane very well. Level 7 to the Darkseer's level 5.
Mid lane looks like they are going to look for the Astral setup, but MV playing it just on the edge of it, and Cicada may have got a bit too greedy, gets kicked back here. by SVG. Stampede comes through from Aoi as they look to close the gap, bring down the OD, and find more potentially as well. Skewer from MSS as he comes in close range for the Shockwave to finish off Super. MP very quick with the reactions. I mean, we saw the way that Sakata was playing. He was really trying to find that Astral so Dogfights and Super could come in for a finisher, but he just took too long, and MP knew what was up.
MP get a kill on a core hero at that. Medusa getting credit under DD Rune as well, so things looking very good on their core heroes. Nice rotation from MSS, making sure he shows up for the fight if it's needed. He had the RP as well. Didn't end up having to use it, and now Aui's got himself a hood in this offlane, so his farm starting to get a bit more out of control.
Top lane Paparazzi's has got to be careful. They've got both the silence and the stun now. They've also got an RP if they feel it's necessary. And MSS is being hunted down and abused by the Weaver. Has to kind of bait him a little closer towards his teammates.
Again, the raindrops. How much damage can he take with them?
Paparazzi's feeling confident because he's got the time lapse. And well, there we have it. Understandably so. Will use it immediately. No messing around as soon as he notices that there's more in the neighborhood. And he'll keep himself safe.
MSS didn't want to go for the RP. I think he was hoping to follow up a Boulder Smash with the RP. So he was like the second stun. But perhaps he needed to just go as the setup for the Boulder Smash there.
It's so risky, isn't it, going for that RP straight out to a Weaver because time lapse is it's just that little bit quicker than the cast animation of the RP.
No, it's definitely a good point and something that he was respectful of. So gets the Weaver slightly out of the lane. Weaver's TP bottom now. The Iron Shell is going to come down and harass AUI, but don't really see this being a kill without AUI making a bit of a mistake here.
Yeah, pretty low. Maybe if he still had the time lapse, he could have gone aggressive. As now he did fall. Very sure. I guess he had the Shrine, though. Could have always headed over there. Stampede was also available.
Stampede.
Yeah. I'd say it's a pretty impossible kill for the Weaver on his own.
He had options, that's for sure. Now he's got stacks to work with. He'll keep farming. Blink Dagger will be coming after the hood. But yeah, top of the net worth charts. Good 4,000 net worth. Pretty decently far ahead of the next closest hero. So good farm on him. Medusa's farming in the mid lane. Magnus, again, getting safe lane farm. And the supports are just playing that a little bit more greedy than the IGV supports and getting away with it, so feels like, again, a laning stage that has favored Team NP, but not as badly as Game 1 by any means.
Mid lane, MV, that's got 1437 beside him. More so just in case Sakata goes aggressive rather than trying to get something done themselves. And top lane, just as you mentioned, just the lanes consistently being switched around by IGV, trying to find both of their cores the ideal position to get some farm in. As your mid lane being pressured now by MV. Sakata having the fun times here, dealing with the arcane rune and the mystic snake. That's a lot of spam ability and not a lot of fun here for the OD.
Yeah, he got bullied out of the lane there even, and we taking some damage on his tier 1 tower where NP are looking to set up for a fight. The Magnus is in position behind Envy, using the Medusa as bait here. Constant Mystic Snake Man is just going to harass away at IGV and try to keep them out of this lane. And Winter Wyvern up top, perhaps a Centaur TP with a Stampede could be the hero to look to influence things if they want to bring in a +1.
IGV are going to smoke and move straight into them. They're heading across. That smoke will dispel, and Paparazzi's actually going to continue to chase here. See what they can get done. They get the slow onto both of them. Looking towards SVG, and with the Iron Shell damage as well, SVG's out. Envy will come in with the Stone Gaze. It's not going to catch anyone as IGV already get themselves back out of there. And will get themselves away with a free kill, and of course, disrupting the play that MP were looking for themselves, so keeping Sakata safe.
Bit of a wild Boulder Smash. You're like watching baseball and the pitcher just throws like a pitch that goes flying off to the side. That looked like nowhere near anything, but sometimes you just like, you're on the run, you have to turn to kick it, so perhaps just lined it up slightly wrong.
Bottom lane, he's looking to redeem himself here, SVG, once again, making sure that we know he can pull out the plays as he comes in, sets up for Aoi on a killing spree. 2k very close towards that Blink Dagger. Mid lane, MV, he's fine, just a hasted CM running around, causing some nuisance.
Nothing he can't deal with as he continues to farm this mid lane. Blade Mail Rush for Envy. Interesting little pickup. Very nice stats is probably the main thing for this item. And of course, Medusa, one of the tankiest heroes early on with Mana Shield. So if you're going to be taking a lot of damage, you may as well reflect it.
For sure, yeah. This is certainly something a little different.
Yep.
that a lot of other players who play Medusa at the professional level would. I don't think I've ever seen. Have you seen a phase blade mail? I mean,
No, I haven't. Maybe it's saying NB's
not
done
that
before,
early on
but
at least,
yeah.
as in it rushing the blade mail.
Yeah, never seen his first item, but makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
you look at what the item gives you. Damage, armor, int. All things that Medusa uses well. Int is basically HP on the hero. Armor against Slaughter drafts is always going to be Slaughter Weaver. A lot of minus armor, physical damage. Armor's great. And plus 22 damage. That's also great. So everything this item gives you is fine. And then the bonus is, well, the active. So even without the active, it's a very cost-effective stat item for Medusa. So it's a good item regardless of how much value you get from the damage reflect.
There we go, mid lane. MP grouping up behind Envy. Same thing has to be done. It's actually going to be on bottom lane. Paparazzi, who finds 4037 on his own. Dogfights has his eyes on MSS up top. And they will get the tower in the middle lane.
Yeah, nice deny coming in from the OD, but it's Centaur coming in from the side finding Super.
Yeah, with the blink reveal.
Yep. Not the dream target, but it's a target nonetheless, as now he gets 403 kill score, 6k net worth.
Emmy's got to be a bit careful. He's low on the man. I guess he does still have the Stampede to rely on, and indeed it comes through. They'll get the smash onto Dogfights. Magnetized down as well. Aoi just jumps in straight away. Can they get the turnaround, IGV? They're looking
look like
towards
they're doing
Aoi.
enough
They really don't.
Perhaps with the Weaver, he gets one. Not going to get any follow-up kills, it seems, as the mech pickup coming at a good timing from Darkseer helped negate a lot of that magnetized damage, but ultimately they couldn't save the Slaughter. They managed to get an Earth Spirit, so pretty even exchange. Both teams losing their 4-position hero. Hurts the Slaughter more than the Earth Spirit in the sense that Slaughter needs a Blink Dagger. Earth Spirit, well, he doesn't really need too much. He's happy with where he's at. Wouldn't mind maybe some Tranquil Boots or an Urn or like some levels here or there, but there's no major items Earth Spirit needs, so small edge in terms of for NP and as far as that goes, but not really too noticeable of a difference.
Well, next fight that we'll have MSS with his Blink Dagger complete as well.
Yeah.
So got to watch out for him and his jump potentials to initiate it. I mean, 3 essentially as well because of the fact that they do just have this Earth Spirit. A lot of ways that MP can jump in onto Vitality.
Yep. More tower pressure coming as AUI at bottom. Happy to continue his role as the space-creating carry in some ways. Similar to what we saw last game on the Enchantress. He's like, just leave me bottom, I'll push, I'll do it all. And he's now going to look to finish off the tower. He's tanking it, looking for that extra bit of return damage, but will not get the deny on Dogfights despite zoning AUI. It did go the way of the siege creep.
Top lane IGV eyeing up taking a tier 1 themselves here. MV the only one in the neighborhood, but TP's starting to come in.
Yeah, TP's available, Stampede available. Very tough hero to die because of how tanky
They've
MV
got to
can
be.
be.
This could be a potential for a big RP
gosh.
from MSS.
Yep.
He's coming in under the cover of smoke. IGV, if they dive first, it could be very costly.
Depends where the smoke pops. If he pops the smoke and doesn't see heroes, he may get jumped himself because of this radiant ward.
MSS, can he find the perfect opening? He's thinking about it.
Died
They
too
have
fast.
lost the Earth Spirit. Are they going to be able to get some sort of a jump to punish this play? And it, for the most part, doesn't look like they will. IGV will be allowed to get themselves back out of there. They don't get the tower, but they do get themselves a kill. And Super and Sakata move immediately back towards the mid lane.
Yeah, they had all that vision with that ward, so they know Centaur's TPing in. They see the Magnus, his smoke expires, so they got all the info they needed to make the right call and just get the hell out of there. It's like, well, our enemy have 5 heroes swap, or 4 because we just killed one. Let's not fight. Let's just take the pick off and go farm the side lanes. Halberd Rush from AUI. This item has received a ton of buffs, and is probably more and more viable than ever because of all these buffs.
It's a very low cooldown now. Is that what they touched down again?
Low cooldown and higher maim chance, of course, with all the Sange buffs. So 35% maim, and yeah, the very low cooldown on the disarm. Although I didn't say very low, 18 seconds is it's hard to get it off still more than once in a team fight. But here, like Centaur, who's very tanky, stays alive and is going to drag the team fight out. Evasion is very good against both Weaver and OD. No one's buying an MKB at this stage. You're laughing if you're thinking of MKB as an item pickup right now. Perhaps Weaver could go Maelstrom MKB, but then you're so squishy. So I don't even think Weaver can get as a second item. One of those items which will make Centaur incredibly durable.
On top lane, MV. He's okay at the moment. Paparazzi, he did have some backup with him for a short amount of time, but they're just going to leave this lane. Head down towards the bottom as the wave starts to come in. Stampede comes out. They're looking to make a play in mid. Aoi closes the gap immediately, gets the blink stun off onto Cicada. SVG and MSS turn up to finish the deal. And that's the OD down for 45. And really being
Wowie.
not back. I mean,
Top
Aoi's
lane,
farm
Andy.
is insane. Is he in trouble? He has the Stone Gaze. IGV are really trying to fight around it, but I mean the Stone Gaze alone was just enough to force them back, and now the rest of MP turn up into town. Boulder smash onto Super, that's the CM out and down. They look for a Splinter Blast connection. They're not going to get it, as in July and Dogfights do get themselves back, but MP move into position to find the tower. And that's got to be wrong. You know, Vitality had 3 heroes pretty much ready to go in onto Envy, but
They went in.
no
and
way
he
they
just-
closed the gap over the Stone Gaze.
He blade mail stone gazed, and they had to mech just for the in a 3v1 against Medusa. They had to use their mech, and then NP comes in. They're like,
crazy.
we can die for this. There's no mech. They've used a lot of their spells.
And I like that. Was Envy, he did have the Lincoln Sphere queued up, but he said, screw it, I'm going to get a Midas.
Yeah, I mean, some very unconventional item builds coming out from
Blade
NP.
Mail
and-
Midas coming to pubs near you soon.
Yeah, both games unconventional stuff, but that's kind of always been NP style. And I think Dota right now in this new patch is in a very interesting place where we've seen at DAC, every team is running different picks, like their own picks, their own play styles. There's been tons of changes to like items like Halbert, Sange, like there's no real set in stone builds right now, and it really is a very experimental phase of the patch, I feel. Like, as much as we're seeing some trends with certain heroes, like the Magnus probably being one of the big ones, Earthspirit's still very commonly picked. It doesn't really feel like it's clear what's like the best way to play and what heroes are the best right now.
Really nice play there, though, from IGV. Just getting themselves in and out of the Roshan, doing it very quickly as well, I mean, with the amp, and nothing that MP seemed to be able to do about it.
They just had no idea, I want to
Yeah.
say, that Roche was even going on. They had a ward to cover the pit, but the smoke in meant they didn't actually catch a vision of anyone going in. So
How's Dogfights doing on his blink? Still trying to climb that last bit of gold there.
it's tough for him. Looks like he'll be given the bottom lane to try and farm, but also needs to be careful down there with potential Earth Spirit.
Top lane,
Thanks.
MP will let the tier 1 go. They're working on a bit of a trade themselves. Envy starting to hammer into the tier 2 bottom. Has the full lineup behind him. Aoi with an Invis rune. They've got all the ultimates available as well, so they're going to be confident holding their ground here. At the same time, we'll see if IGV are going to respond or simply move in for a trade themselves. And it looks like they will just keep themselves up top, and understandably really so as well, considering the team fight potential MP has. You're more than fine taking or attempting to take these trades rather than hitting them head on.
Yeah, I think fighting head-on with how farmed and tanky the Centaur and Medusa are is just not going to work at all. Magnus has proven to be a very effective initiator and teamfight presence as well, so seems like the call is just going to be to not fight into them. AUI, full Halberd complete, 2.3k HP. He's farmed out of his mind right now. He also farms incredibly fast with the Empower, and really nice hero to empower when he's got all this strength, because the bonus damage is going to be based on your strength. So he's getting a lot of bonus right-click damage out of this build. He actually right-clicks pretty hard. The heart is going to give him more strength, more right-click damage. He doesn't hit all that fast, but perhaps we even see like an AC or something after that heart if he wants to start getting some attack speed to go with all this right-click damage.
And Blink isn't out there for Dogfights. I imagine as well from MP, we'll maybe see them. I mean, do they just wait out the Aegis? Do you feel is it worth still trying to go for
Yeah,
fights at this
probably.
stage?
If you want to defend towers, you might take fights because you've got a pretty good team fight and your Centaur can just initiate in pretty unafraid, but more likely they just try and avoid fighting too much into the Aegis where possible, unless they feel pressed to do so. But IGV themselves with a slider blink, this to me is like go time. This is where you want to be trying to use some of your smokes, play aggressive. They've got a smoke on Crystal Maiden, and they've got mech as well as pipe, so farming is not the way to go. They find a pick-off, but just an Earth Spirit, not really the biggest kill. Ideally, they want to be trying to get pick-offs that translate into objectives, and that's what this smoke here is looking to achieve around the mid lane.
Again, though, mid, it's only 1437. Not the big call that they'd hoped for. I mean, at the least, they could potentially get a pick and take a tier 1. They would love to find something bigger. They'll go for what they can have. TPs will start coming through. In fact, with the Con Embrace, is it actually going to save it? No, Super's got the damage with the ultimate. They'll take the kill on 1437. will find the tier 1 tower as well.
Now he might
They
go
really
in.
want to fight here. IGV have to be a little careful. And there's your jump in. First of all, onto In July. MSS looking for the skewer setup. Brings In July back. They've got the Stone Gaze as well. In July just absolutely surrounded. Sakata trying to come in and help out with a defensive Astral. In fact, for the time being, it may have just done it. In July's able to get the wall out. Surges away. Paparazzi ticking down low to the Magnetized. In fact, goes down. Aegis is popped. Back in the center of the fight. MSS jumping back in. Shockwave isn't going to connect with Dogfights, who will manage to get himself out of there, but MP did manage to take the Aegis. They managed to get the OD as well. Can they get any more? That's the question. Super is going to attempt for the TP out. Is the stun going to be there in time? No. Can't quite get up out in range before the TP is successful. But not really the Aegis fight that Vitality were hoping for.
Nope, not at all. And they found they could only really get vision of the Wyvern to start the fight off, so they kind of have to just take that kill. And once they're fighting underneath the tower with the teamfight ultimates, the Stone Gaze, the RP, things get pretty nasty for them. It wasn't the biggest RP. They were nicely split apart and spread out, which is, I guess, one of the things that a draft with Weaver, Slaughter, OD with the 4 stuff, they've got good mobility, so they're not likely to get caught in these 3-4-man RPs. But what did happen is Darkseid got pulled really deep in, so they had to kind of commit deep in because of that, since the Blink Skewer got him underneath.
MV doesn't have Stone Gaze. This could be a bit of a freebie. They've got Stampede. Is it going to be enough to save him? It's not. IG Vitality, that's the pick that they were looking for.
Yep.
Taking down Envy and getting some extra bit of money there into Paparazzi's bank. As he works towards completing the Mjolnir. Seems to be his first objective.
Okay.
So we're still going to, I mean, he will have that lightning shield, but overall the squishiness still will be there. Oh no, he's changed it up. Okay. Oh, he's got a BKB as well. There we go. So BKB
surprised.
finished.
Normally, I mean, it is a big boost in damage output going from the Maelstrom to the Mjolnir. You get 12 targets with the chain. The chain damage goes up from 120 to 150. So this is a nice boost in damage output, but it does feel like survivability is going to be key here as well. Centaur, by the way, Heart of Taras, just 1,200 away. What's he got? Magic resistance. Didn't go for evasion. I guess he's already got some from the halberd, but went for the spell resistance instead. Plus 35 damage as you expect, and we'll see what he does at level 20. Probably the spell amp because of the return damage, but 15 strength is not bad.
Top lane Envy just waltzes straight in with the Stone Gaze and gets the tower deny right underneath the noses of IGV.
Can they punish the cooldown though? Yeah, lurking around as 4 still.
MSS is there though with the RP. IGV had to be so careful how they go in. There's the commitment. MSS going to hang back and look for the angle. Winter's Curse to hold dogfights in, but they're split up. MSS can't really find the RP that he'd hoped for. MV still being kind of run around here by In July, but there's the Stampede. Now trying to get MP back in good position to take this fight. An immediate reaction though from Dogfights. Gets the crush off onto Earth Spirit. And they'll be the team with 1 member up.
They almost killed the Weaver with that Blink Centaur stun, but the Cold Embrace actually saved Weaver because Magnus could have followed up the Centaur stun with either a Skewer would have been enough, an RP would have been fine, but because of the Cold Embrace, he couldn't actually use any of his spells on that Weaver there, so bit unfortunate for NP, slightly misplayed in terms of the team coordination there, but still, it was a Weaver had to BKB to survive to begin with, so it was the 10-second BKB being committed.
IGV though certainly faring a lot better this game in comparison to what we saw in game 1.
Yep. Still feels like they're playing from behind, trying to catch up in terms of farm, and their team fight isn't really matching up as nicely, but you can see the supports, they're doing better there. In terms of farm, their supports have a lot more in the way of items. Just that Centaur and Medusa being as far ahead as they are, which is the issue right now.
MP coming over to Vitality's half of the map. Paparazzi, okay, quick jump there. In fact, Dogfights was attempting, I think it was a bit of a bait and switch there as he swapped places with Owie. Vacuum, wall, but it doesn't matter. They Stampede immediately away. MP just getting themselves the hell out. They still have an RP available, but MSS did have the bug on him. Now he'll Shadow Amulet up. He's going to look for the position. They're held close together there by the initial Winter's Curse set up from 1437. MSS continues hiding in the shadows. Paparazzi's already taken down one. MSS waiting for the perfect time, the perfect place. They're relatively grouped up. Oh no! He does hold it. Cancel cast. There's the RP. Skewers into position. They've caught 2, but Sakata, oh my goodness, drops the hammer. And with that, it is going to be IGV taking the fight. Massive team fight ultimates coming through there, but They just blew them up at the end of it all as Cicada will go down, but he gets that Sanity's Eclipse out, and MP just getting knocked straight back to the fountain.
Yeah, making sure he got off that Eclipse just to do what damage he could. It's crucial. MV wasn't there. He was off farming the top side of the map. Decided that, I mean, the fight was just kind of happening in such a fast manner that he couldn't really get there in time to have an impact if he's not there from the start. So, not his fault by any means, but did mean that it was effectively a 5v4. That MP held their own in pretty well until that Sanity's Eclipse towards the end.
Yeah, we just saw, I mean, pretty much Aoi on the center. You know, he's big and he's strong, but he's not the brightest in terms of intelligence. And, you know, after a few pumps of the old orb, that Sanity certainly does hit hard onto him.
Yeah. So what the next move is going to be in terms of items. Like Paparazzi is going to complete the Mjolnir now with the BKB. From there, may consider an MKB to deal with this pesky evasion. But looks like AUI did go for the plus 15 strengths. 10 spell amp. I've definitely seen quite a few Centaurs go this just for the bonus return damage, but definitely merit to both of these options.
No, you get the spell amp on the return damage, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
That's where it's
mathematically, it is interesting. You said that you went for...
I mean, strength is still HP.
It's HP.
It doesn't give you more... The spell amp gives you more return damage than the plus 15 strength. But,
yes, when you've got high
obviously,
search.
one gives you HP, the other gives you just damage.
True.
And spell amp, I mean, affects double edge, hoof stomp, but stampede damage, but not necessarily game set. Perhaps he just says, look, I'm doing enough damage, I just want to make sure I can stay alive as much as possible.
Envy, it's going to be going on here. IGV, tentative about it though, and understandably so. MP in the neighborhood, all ults back off cooldown, and there's the smoke. They check it out with the sentry first, they know it's clear. MP, can they get the opening? IG Vitality, I'm sure they'll be aware that they're off the map. MP, relatively grouped up at the moment as Cicada continues to find some farm here from the side jungle. And MP very careful about how they approach this high ground as they come up the stairs. The scan's being used by both sides. The dire scan will clip, but it's just an illusion. Illusions do proc it. Don't go all out on this Weaver, and they won't. They know. Aoi sees it. He knows it's an illusion. Backs off. And Envy will just push down the mid tier 2. As MP just reset themselves behind him. Tier 2 is taken down. And IGV just being pressured to stay up on the high ground. And with that as well, MP moving towards Roshan. They've got good team fight around it, but so has IGV. Sanity's Eclipse is back online. So both teams do have to be relatively careful about when they approach Roshan. And indeed, MP are going to back up, continue the farm going for Envy as he clears out that top lane. And we'll see which team's able to get their hands on that Roshan and ideally find a pick off beforehand.
Envy with evasion is going to be another problematic source of evasion for this MP side that neither Weaver nor the OD can easily handle. In fact, only really Weaver could theoretically build an MKB anytime soon, although for now, complete Mjolnir, queued up Skadi. May reconsider when he sees this butterfly, but boy, it's going to be a tough fight for IGV to take, I feel, with how farmed both Envy and AUI are now.
And here we go into the pit. MP go. They feel that they don't need to get a pick off first. They want to go straight for it. Paparazzi will reveal himself as he comes close to the sentry. And there's the jump. Aoi gets the connection. Who stomps there? But the force out from his teammates. Saves Paparazzi, gets him away. Won't have any follow through lockdown. Paparazzi just trying to juke it out, hiding the tree line.
He's splitting them up pretty nicely, but needs to find a way onto the back line. Someone like the Magnus, but Magnus with the Shadow Blade, even more elusive now, and Weaver is not a hero to carry dust or sentries.
Really wrapping around Envy. It's a hard hero to go in on. Got to be so careful. There's the jump potential, but in fact it's dogfights. Getting across first towards 1437, but the self-cold embraces there quickly. Bottom smash onto Paparazzi. He's in the pit. MSS still hiding under the cover of the shadows. Isn't going to get connected on by that dust as well, so can still get that jump factor onto the side of IGV, but there's the jump in July. 3-man vacuum wall. Aoi comes in response though, and the stone gaze is there from Envy, forcing IGV to back away. In July, can he actually get himself out of this one? He will. Aoi's going to be held back here by the CM. There's your RP from MSS though, getting both Paparazzi and Cicada, but once again a fight where the Sanities comes out, does huge amounts of damage, and it may just be enough. MP, they've lost 3, but Envy on the high ground, trying to deal with Paparazzi in dogfights. Paparazzi hasn't got the time lapse, already used it. Does have to get himself away, doesn't have enough damage to deal with Envy. The fight will end
I got the
3 for
supporting
2.
cast, but Centaur, Medusa, both nigh unkillable here.
And MP did, of course, get that OD kill.
Not a bad fight for IGV regardless, but like I mentioned, Aoi might go for the Assault Crest, has been queued up. He right-clicks so bloody hard with Empower because of all this strength, and throwing some attack speed and minus armor for his opponents, and suddenly he is a real threat to anyone actually on top of him. And there's BKBs on heroes like OD Weaver. Well, Centaur will happily just hold his ground and right-click you back in those scenarios. Medusa getting poked and prodded at, but anytime she gets gone on, just a quick blade mail, and you kind of have to run away from her.
Paparazzi, as you just had to be forced to use a very small time lapse there.
Baby one.
Scared. Very scared with Envy standing there. And yeah, it's just as you mentioned, this evasion from both the item and the talent. Causing big issues until that MKB comes online.
Weaver's sort of opted up. Had the Skadi earlier queued up, but I feel like it's a must-buy at this point. Getting an MKB. Yeah, you're not going to be as tanky, but I think at this point, surviving, and whether you survive or not doesn't really matter. If you can't kill the Centaur or the Medusa, you're not going to win these upcoming fights, so going a bit more all in. MSS could go for an RP at mid.
15 seconds still though on the cooldown.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's very close to having it again.
Just the blink screw, which would not be enough.
He does have an invis, so you've got setup potential here from the Centaur.
I know where Paparazzi is with those beetles coming in from the Ancients area, but here we go. Aoi's just going to walk high ground, take the tower.
Oh, the invis tank as well.
Yep.
Straight up chilling.
He's taking literally no damage. Loses the heart regen, but still taking literally no damage.
And they do have that RP back now.
Paparazzi's role to try and find these supports, find heroes like the Winter Wyvern.
Who can he hunt down still? The proceeds from MP as they try and move up to that high ground. MSS Shadowbladed. What can he find? He himself also potentially hunting around in that back just to see if Paparazzi was wrapping around with the Weaver play.
Yep. He knows that's what Weaver's kind of looking to do. Weaver, Paparazzi's checking the tree still. He's standing right by 1437. They'll run into each other.
And he has been forced up to the high ground here. Again, is the damage quite there? It really doesn't seem to be. Sakata is starting to rack up the intelligence still, that's for sure. MV starting to be teased around a little bit with Paparazzi as he continues to play around the tree line at the back. I mean, that's the one plus about these tanky heroes. Sakata is free to take a lot of intelligence, really build up the damage potential that his Sanity's Eclipse can do.
Maybe time to back soon for MP with all that in stolen, but...
Paparazzi is underneath the sentry. There's the jump in. Sakata immediately with the Sanity's Eclipse. He's blown up one. And if he turns towards him, Sakata, can he get away? Not with an RP like that. MSS finds the setup. The Greaves are enough, though. Coming in just in time. In July saves the OD. MSS going in fully aggressive, but he can't quite finish off the OD, and Envy is now in a lot of trouble. Paparazzi, time-lapse is back. Envy's down once. They pop the Aegis. Dogfights in July will kill off MSS. Can they kill Envy a second time? He's got Blade Mail. Doesn't have a Stone Gaze. I mean, look at the evasion go to work. It's certainly causing issues. IGV have to be careful about how they do it, but he's been left alone. All his friends have gone home, and Envy will be taken down. IGV hold the base and are able to get MP out from under their noses.
It's definitely the trickiest part about the fight is going to be this OD ultimate, because he gets so much free in. You see they just right click waves, stacks it up. It's not that the Centaur's scared of it, because he gets enough HP that even the OD ultimate at most might get him down to half, but he can one-shot Winter Wyvern, as we saw. He can one-shot the Earth Spirit. Heroes like Magnus have to be down. Magnus only has 1400 HP. He hasn't got a whole lot of int to play around, so OD can very easily demolish the supporting cast with that int stacks. And I think we're seeing IGV and what their lineup can do in a fight like that, using their high ground to great effect. And it just felt like MP lingered around a bit too long. Once everyone was amped up and the int stacks started piling up, they had already been kind of staying too long. They had to find a way to get out, but I think they were just too afraid to back off, because they would be running into the Weaver, and Weaver would just kind of set up a bunch of kills or poke at the supports and set up the rest of IGV to initiate in.
That's got to be worrying for MP. A little bit that indeed these last few engagements have gone as so. As Paparazzi stepping up and very close now to having that goal for the MKB, just under 1,000. And he will have that, and then suddenly this This Medusa will be a little less scary.
Whoa, queuing up the rapier.
Ooh, Envy.
Jackie now. It's like,
Needed, do you feel?
no, but
It's Jack.
it's Jackie, yeah. We'll see if he commits to it too.
Oh, he'll commit.
Yeah, he probably
Jackie's
will.
not the kind of guy to queue up a rapier and not go through. Otherwise, I will be bitterly disappointed.
Yeah. It's a very different approach to the Medusa. Normally you see a bit more stat heavy. He's gone much more right click heavy. Butterfly. Lincoln's being really the main stat item here as far as giving all, like you don't normally see like the Skadi, the Manta, the Lincolns. But he's gone a bit more, yeah, right click damage.
Yeah, very close to having the gold available for it as well, if he sells the Aquila as such. And maybe even trades in the Midas, if he wants to have it ASAP. But we'll see. There is that MKB done for the Weaver.
I think the really nice thing with the Rapier is if you get it around when you hit level 25, because that's where you get the lifesteal. 25% lifesteal with Rapier is where Medusa is scary. But I think Rapier without the lifesteal, you're a bit squishy.
25%.
It's a good amount. It's a good chunk of lifesteal. That's Satanic's worth of lifesteal. So Envy has re-queued into a Skadi. Disappointing.
Oh, I am let down.
Yep.
I think a lot of people will be. I mean, it's the sensible decision for sure. It is a sensible one.
Getting an iron that can help kite a little bit. I mean, Weaver's super fast. You're not really kiting him. The OD, perhaps a teeny tiny bit, but we'll see. Maybe he'll change his mind. You know, all it takes is to lose one fight, and he's like, "Oh, true. Game is going terribly. Gonna rape you now."
You know, maybe one of his teammates, checked out his quick buy and was like, "Are you getting a rapier?" And Envy's like, "Nope." Quickly goes back to the Ascari, and maybe he'll go for the sneaky purchase. But we'll see. He's yet to put any money into any of the components. So it definitely could still be a thought that's held on the line. What's going to be required? But there we have the commitment. He's picked up the orb. Sad times. But as you said, 25 is going to be the beautiful moment where Rapier could be big. And at a game going this kind of pace, we could see it slow down, and we could still get the dream of the Rapier.
He can still farm one. I mean, he's got Skadi and probably like 1.5k gold roughly on top of that. So
bang on. Good maths there.
That's some
Aussie maths.
Some AU math. Well, I can sell some little pieces up to a bit more even, but it feels like the game's just transitioned into a farm. It seems like both teams are waiting for level 25s. Like OD's 24, Centaur's 24, Dusa 24. But now the smokes are coming up around Roche respawns.
They're so grouped up here. MSS, can you find any sort of a jump?
Both teams blinking away from each other when the smokes pop. Well, namely IGV. Maybe he'll charge forward. Rapier queued up. We can rejoice once more. Now he's got that AC. He is forced to be reckoned with on the front lines.
And setting how much farm this man's got. And understandable with obviously having the Magnus on his team and the way he's been able to clear camps and clear waves. Aoi, very, very big this game. There's the disarm to stop the OD from racking up too much at the inn, but he's back in. Looks towards Envy. Here we go with the Hurricane Pike. Evasion, evasion, evasion.
Yep.
3 of the 4 hits missed.
Yeah, that was actually... What is that evasion?
Envy's time to be forced back, but they did get the tower that they came for.
Yeah, they want the tower just to deal with the shrine, so Roche is a lot more secure for them. If they have to worry about TPs to that, mostly the north shrine, the other shrine isn't as big of a deal. But that top shrine is where Roche fights can get messy. Because you take a 5v5 there and your opponents have a shrine, they can buy back, TP back in, and completely ruin your day.
And mass pings coming from both sides. MP going straight for it, and at the same time, Vitality know that's the plan. They do want to try and do something bad, it seems. They're coming across, but they can't get there nearly quick enough. The damage too much. Does MP bring it down?
They do find NP's ward, so MP had a ward at that cliff further to the south, so that gets denied, which makes Roche a little bit less secure. You've got to kind of second guess where your opponents are a bit more. You can't, like, you put a hero position to pop a smoke with the ward and then blink on out, so that gets a little bit tougher.
Let's see, Paparazzi next up. Skadi again has that essential damage item, that MKB, so just looking to continue to build on his own strength and tankiness to make sure he doesn't get blown up by the huge amount of damage that MP can do under the control that they can find. But now he's on the front lines. There's a lot of heroes around here. IGV are hiding. Cicada will jump forward. Dogfights misses the crush though. Quick reaction from Aoi to link back away.
Yeah, even blink dodged the arcane, or perhaps it was evasion, but he was out of there fast.
IGV still trying to wrap around. They really want to try and do something about this, but it's already gone. Envy will be able to clear out the second shrine.
Very disciplined from NP. Very close to those 25s. Talked about waiting for them. It looks like they just want to make sure they can take objectives and set up for Roshan in the process as AUI. Perhaps the sanction stack. Yep, he's there. 25. Return aura online. Envy's
return aura on Medusa. That's
pretty nasty. This Weaver is not going to be very happy in these fights. OD, yeah, it kind of matters for OD as well.
Oh no! Misses the RP here. Cicada with the slide out. Will be held in place by the Winter's Curse. The PKP is already out. Can they actually kill him though? That's the question.
He blinks.
Oh, he wasn't even looking at Envy. And he's going to get out of it. He's got Hurricane Pipe back up. Cicada will be A-OK, and on the backlines, Paparazzi rips through SVG, jump forward from Injuly, they get the combo with the Vacuum Crush. Aoi comes back in on the backlines, looking to rectify this here for MP. He's taken down Super. But MP,
Crystal Maiden.
can they get something more? MSS.
Ultis are down, forward. No RP, Winter's Curse, Stone Gaze, all three big ultimates. For the Radiant side, they've still got the sanities.
They've still got the sanities, and that's the big one. That really is in these team fights.
Not much instill, but I think MP will be a bit cautious about going for a Roche until they've got RP back up.
Yeah. But that was, I mean, that slide there, I don't know if it was Cicada's own Hurricane Pike or what's, I mean, I guess it must
I think it was.
It could have been Slardar, or it could have been someone else saving him, but that perfect timing, getting him out of the RP, saving his life.
Interesting, NB's gone for the Stone Gate stun. He's got plus, it used to be plus 1 second, I think, and now they buffed it to +2.
There we go, border smash onto 2 as MP moving thick and fast. Cicada falling low, but the PKPs forces up to the high ground. Dogfights will go. Roshan will be maintained, but they do not want MP to get their hands on it. Immediate buyback from Slardar. They want to keep control of this
very
pit.
Low. Can't really fight right now. He's going to have to heal up back at base. Trying to use those shrines.
I mean, it's going to be a bit of a kicker if the Slardar Pie is back and they still lose Roshan.
Ooh, looks like they might be. They've got to get there incredibly fast to stop this one, and someone has to get in there now to mess with this, and it's just not happening.
Got to be quick.
Envy's got the Rapier queued up. If he gets an Aegis, oh boy.
Dogfights, he needs to jump, and he needs to jump right now, but it's not going to happen. Roshan is taken down. Envy picks up the Aegis, and MP now on the chase, seeing if they can find any of the members of IGV, but IGV have already backed away.
Oh, Envy's head to the shop.
Here we go. Envy time. Cheese as well in his pocket.
Yeah, this is a good. This is a
you
smart
don't,
rapier.
You don't
purchase.
need buyback. You just need that rapier, and there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Envy.
He even sold the phase boots. He didn't just put them in his stash. He's like, fuck boots. Don't need those.
He's got the flutter.
Yep,
He will flutter like a beautiful butterfly.
God, that 290 movement speed outside of flutter is a depressing sight.
Wow, look at him go. Go, Sonic.
But yeah, he's probably telling his team, like, can we push now? I don't move very fast. I want to go fight. Flutter gets him to 391. That's actually pretty good movement.
That's respectable.
Yeah, 35% is a big chunk of move speed, but the downtime on Flutter is where you struggle. You also don't want to Flutter in a fight if you're being right-clicked.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess you still got the evasion talent. So it's not like you're forgoing all
true.
evasion that you're running with. So that's something.
So Smoke picked up. They bought BKB on Magnus, so it doesn't have buyback, but they've got everything, all the tools they could really hope for here, it looks like. And not sure what really they'd be waiting for at this stage. They definitely want to go with the Aegis. Looks like IGV are trying to find a pick at bottom, but Centaur has already vacated the premises, and the only real option IGV have here is to split push a bit. But Rapier Medusa, yeah, split push not really the answer here.
There we go. How do you stop this?
I'm going to try to pull Medusa deep into your base, so you pull NP whole team deep into your base as a result, which not the easiest thing to achieve. 4 staffs can kind of help.
I've seen some quick reactions from both sides, dodging either's respective blink initiations. And indeed, Envy just allowed free range to get this tower.
Push. Weaver's just going to go for bottom. See what Envy does. Do they go for another lane? Do they go for tier 4s?
Envy doesn't have a TP, of course. There are no surprises there. So he is going to have to stick
stuff.
and go full in. And they really need to go full in. We'll get the jump. There's the RP onto OD. OD's out. Does have buyback. Immediately uses it. At the same time, Paparazzi's getting away with a fair bit.
needs
will
to come
now
back
choose to
yeah.
TP back. They're going to choose to take the fight full on. And they certainly need to. Dogfight's falling low. Cicada sliding in, held back by the Winter's Curse. Envy getting into position to make sure that that Stone Gaze kicks in, and Cicada the statue out and down, die back from the OD. And the Rapier is certainly doing it here. The damage from Envy ripping through Vitality. Buybacks will come out from Injulight and Paparazzi, but the tier 4s are gone. Envy's onto the Ancient. Can they do anything to stop him? That's the question. I mean, you've got Dogfights trying to go on the back lines, but it's the front lines that's the issue here. Envy just focusing the Ancient. Injulight's there with the vacuum wall combination, but then P, they don't care. They'll hit on forward, take the win, bringing down the Ancient. And at the end of the day, that damage that Rapier offered, it was game winning.
Yeah, I'm having these two tanky frontline cores in Centaur Medusa proved to be very impactful. Even that last fight, the return, was really helpful as well for the team, but unable to fight was the OD. If he ever got caught in an RP, that's why Magnus was looking for those solo RPs. He knows the OD is the one danger here. If OD racks up int, that's where he kills 2-3 heroes with one Sandy's Eclipse. You take Sandy's Eclipse out, Weaver's just tickling one hero. Best case scenario for Weaver is he kills a support, really. He's not killing the cores. It's the OD who has to be the big star for IGV to take those fights, and MSS knew it, AUI knew it. Anytime they saw the OD, blink stun, blink RP, blink screw, whatever you could do to get him and pick him off was going to win you the fight and win you the game. And MP shows some bit of fun, I guess. Like I feel like some cool drafts.
Very, very entertaining.
Different things, you know. Centaur as a carry, went for the AC. Later on with the Heart of Taras, with the Empower, he was right-clicking pretty damn hard. A lot of interesting, unique builds and ideas coming out. It's crazy to see the damage distribution there, where the supports, the Magnus, no one does damage here this game apart from Envy and AUI. It was very much all in on those two carries.
And huge amounts of damage done as well. We can see Envy coming out of this one, 40,000 damage done on his Medusa. And, you know, as you mentioned, entertaining, and with an unorthodox build as well, that phase into Blade Mail. And then, of course, after that goes back, well, I say the Midas, and then as well, and then into a more familiar route that we're used to seeing. But at least IG Vitality for them, this loss has got to feel a little worse than the first loss.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the first loss was just like you got stomped, and you're just like, you just go to after a stomp like that, you're like, well, draft play, everything was a disaster. This game, you're like, well, we had perhaps a few more openings this game. We didn't maybe connect as much in the mid game where we hit the slider, blink, dagger to go for some smoke moves. And I mean, Paparazzi, I think, played a good game on the Weaver. Like his scoreline suggests he did a lot, but felt like he just at no point in this game was ever going to be able to fight into a Medusa Centaur. So I think draft definitely came into play a bit. And just very, they're being thrown off by how unconventional NP are.
Yeah.
I think they're just.
They really are.
Like,
what is this NA team doing?
They're a team that does really well against a lot of the domestic matchups. Like they've beaten the Chinese teams. They won the Chinese qualifier, beating IG, but they're good against like conventional Dota strats, I feel. But as soon as you do something weird, they're not good at adapting. And I think that's partly their inexperience, partly the fact that they're not really like they haven't got that like great leader / captain behind the team. They're not really looked at as like a star-studded team, and I think the result of that is that they can do well in matchups where they can plan, prepare for, but not matchups where it's like NP, what the fuck are they going to do? Versus teams like OG maybe who are going to pick weird stuff. The Western teams are much more unpredictable with their drafts, and I think that's where IGV are going to struggle.
Absolutely. Well, there we have, ladies and gentlemen, MP with an entertaining victory indeed, taking down IG Vitality 2-0. Getting that very, very important series win. Series wins being absolutely massive with the abundance of draws that we're getting and getting themselves that 3 points in the ranking system. But there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We, of course, are going to have more Dota 2 here on this channel. I believe it'll be Tobes and Malini coming up with you next. And, of course, more as well over on the mainstream here at the DAC group stages. Live from Shanghai. And from myself and Gods, we'll see you about.